I've taken the arm panel loose again, so I can take the rollers loose from the arm frame. I left it connected here to the drive rod. I can just roll it back. Don't know if you can see it here, but the screws that mount it toward the front of the bracket, this area here is actually crushed. It's indented. So I'm going to use some washers as spacers or shims to bring this area back out. I'm going to place them between the bracket and the arm panel. So hopefully we can get the rollers to operate more smoothly. I'm going to take this close-up here to see if you can see the indentation in the frame. Right here. This is the area that's crushed or indented right here. I've installed the spacers here. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but I brought this part of the bracket out a little further than flush with the arm frame to get the rollers to operate smoothly within the base tracks. Now we're going to dry fit the base and check the operation. So just carefully slide it onto the rollers. And just make sure it moves back and forth smoothly. That looks good. Okay, the reason I'm replacing this old base is because it's a little bit bent and out of square. I don't know if you can see that on camera. But before I install the new base, I'm going to have to install some plastic parts. They sent me all the new parts I need except for these two back brackets, so I'll have to remove them from the old base and transfer them over as well. Let's do that next. Before I transfer these clips, I need to determine which is the front and which is the back of the base when they're installed. This is the back, and that's where the clips attach. So if you look at your new base, you see one end has two open holes. That's the front when it's installed. And the other end has one of those holes that's blocked off. So the blocked off end is the back. And I'm going to mark that with a piece of tape. Now I can remove these clips with my trusty tack puller and transfer them over. And just push the plugs in place. I received a bag of the new plastic parts that I'll need for the base from the manufacturer. So let's see what we have here. We've got 4 floor glides. And we have 2 plastic plugs for the front of the base, which will be installed last. So let's install the glides. You just push them on. Now we're ready to install the base. So I'm going to do a close-up to show you how these little clips are installed in the front of the base. This little leg points down and you just slide them in the channel. But before we do that, we have to slide the base over the rollers. So let's do that. And now we can install both clips. Okay, now let's attach the swing arms to the drive rod. when you reinstall these arms, don't forget to reattach the spacer that came with the bolt. All right, let's install the back and try the chair out. So the chair's reassembled, the back's installed. Let's try it out. For those of you who may not be familiar with Wallsavers, the advantage of this type of recliner over a traditional one is when it tilts back, it also moves forward. So with this type of chair, you can get the chair backs a little closer to the wall than a traditional recliner, because the seats come forward as it tilts back. And on this La-z-boy, the part that controls that are the rollers that we replaced today. Okay, let's wrap up this repair. Now, it's been a long time since I've installed a set of these La-z-boy rollers, and I believe this is the first time I installed the newer version of that part. And as you saw in the video, there can be issues with the alignment, which I remedied by using some spacers. Keep in mind, with this newer part, it's installed flat against the arm frame. So if the arm frame has an issue, let's say it's loose or separated or out of alignment for whatever reason, you'll have to address that issue before you install the rollers if you're attempting this repair.